Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Three Times N News Network. This is your host, Joey Neb, here live in New Hampshire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Three Times N News Network. Today is Sunday, April 16, 2023, time 10:22 p.m. Starting as of next week, Saturdays, Sundays, 8 p.m. live, Monday to Friday, live Ukraine cameras go in effect. After the stream tonight, we will be doing the live cams um continuously to Friday, and then when Saturday comes, we'll be doing the updates and news updates that I have been doing research for. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show on the road. And once again, viewers, if you like this stream, click like, subscribe, come to the Twitch TV. Welcome if you're watching right now. You can also come to the youtube.com, the Nebuchadnezzar News Network, ladies and gentlemen, or search in Three Times That News Network. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. We also have a Discord as well that gives updates and future event updates, what's going on. If you like that as well, there will be also down the road, there will be video working, video editing working as well. There'll be short videos being uploaded on YouTube. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, click like and subscribe. Let's get the show on the road here for Sunday night here on the Three Times That News Network. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Um, the source from WMUR Channel 9 in New Hampshire reports prompts changes after Harmony Montgomery's death, but some say more must be done. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the WMUR Manchester, New Hampshire, the case of Harmony Montgomery sparked change at the New Hampshire Division of Children, Youth, and Families, with the report released following a 5-year-old girl's death, making recommendations for changes at the agency. But recently, New Hampshire has seen another devastating loss, the death of a 7-year-old boy who was under the protection of DCYF. His death and others in the past several years had led to questions on whether the state is doing enough to protect its most vulnerable residents. Brielle Gage was 3 years old when she was beaten to death by her mother, Caitlin Marin. In August 2014, Marin was sentenced to 45 years to life in prison. Sadie Wilcott was 21 months old when she died in September 2015 from 2 blows to the head. Her mother, Caitlin Paquetti, is serving 21 to 42 years in prison. Dennis Vaughn Jr., also known as Boo, was found dead on Christmas Eve in 2019. The Attorney General office ruled that the 5-year-old was killed by blunt force trauma to his head and neck. No suspects have been named to his death. Brielle's father, Sally's father, and Boo's mother later sued DCYF, all accusing the agency of failing to investigate claims of abuse ahead of their children's death. The case brought by Boo's mother is ongoing, with DCYF saying its investigation was accurate. The other 2 cases have been settled. On New Year's Eve 2021, the state will come to know Harmony, a 5-year-old girl who seemingly disappeared while under surveillance of DCYF after she moved to New Hampshire from Massachusetts to live with her father. And currently her father is arrested and doing time in jail for that situation. In February 2021, the state released a one-of-a-kind report detailing her case because it was tied to this investigation, and at the time, Harmony was still missing. They weren't quite sure what was happening, but there was hope for the Attorney General office that released some information about what was known might help find her, said Joe Ribson, director of DCYF. That hope faded away 6 months later when the Attorney General office declared Harmony a victim of a homicide, with investigators believing that she was killed in 2019 in Manchester. Harmony's father, Adam Montgomery, now awaits trial on charges connected to her death. He has pleaded not guilty, and his trial is scheduled for August. Report recommends changes. The review of Harmony's case also came with a list of 10 recommendations for system improvement. News 9 Investigates has learned that two are considered continuous practices of the agency, three are ongoing, and five recommendations are listed as complete, including new legislation to enhance the interstate compact of the placement of the child. That really updates an old 1965 law that is not designed the way the world works today, Ripsem said. It's a great thing that New Hampshire passed and is on board. The challenge is 36 states have to pass it before it becomes effective, and right now we're at least 15 or 16 states that have passed it. There are portions of the ICPC that are in effect now. The previous law did not require an ICPC or a home study if a child was moving to live with a parent in another state, even if that parent did not have a pre existing relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Joey Neb. Sorry about that in early intermission. I had a phone call I had to really take. Um as you see, I have highlighted where we left off. Please give me a couple of more minutes and I'll be right with you. Sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Joey Neb here, live in New Hampshire. Ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about the DCYF case that recently happened. You can check out that information on the WMUR. Where I left off is there are portions of the ICPC that are in effect now. The previous law did not require an ICPC or a home study if a child was moving to live with a parent in another state, even if that parent did not have a pre-existing relationship. Now that law has changed that we can do a home study in these instances. The court can order that, Rimson said. So there were really big changes in New Hampshire law. In January, the state was also finalized a provisional placement agreement with the state of Massachusetts, which creates the deadlines on information that is swapped between the two states if the child is crossing borders. If the states does not have these kinds of agreements in place, it doesn't always work out that simply. Rimsam said it can be something that could take 6 to 10 months. News 9 requested an interview with Governor Chris Sununu to discuss the changes at the DCYF, but was told that the governor was leaving those comments to the agency. In a written statement, Sununu touted the progress that has been made. One tragedy is too many. While there's still much more work to do, the recommendations we have implemented in the last year have helped set the stage for an even better, safer child protection system here in New Hampshire, Sununu said in a statement. But since the report release, and there has been another tragedy, another child who died while it was under the watch of DCYF. Javen Riley, 7, died in January. His final autopsy results are still pending. His father, Murtada Mohammed, was arrested before the boy died, days after he suffered burn injuries. Mohammed has not been charged in Javen's death, but is facing charges of abuse, and he's pleaded not guilty. Javen was also part of the DCYF system, according to his mother. I can't speak about the specific cases whatsoever. The truth is, the work of a child protection is constantly evolving and growing, Rimson said. We have massive system changes, which have been tremendous. And I think for the foundation for a real world class system is in place today. But we have huge workforce issues across the board and that are preventing any of these things from hitting on full cylinder. More changes needed, say Home. Some officials said more must be done. Really, frankly, I'm tired of having dead children around the city, and Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg, I'm tired of it. Aldenberg said his team collaborates with DCYF daily. One of those cases were Harmonies. He said that while his department has a positive relationship with DCYF, he also feels there are times when police Harmonies reported was released. She worked with DCYF to implement some of its changes. An important piece of the highlight is that it's more than just DCYF system, Sanchez says. I think it's difficult for people to grasp that because they look at DCYF system, they are specifically set up to protect children. Hold on a sec. Sanchez says making real changes also takes accountability from other agencies such as police, schools, and support services. A lot of times we recognize that it's additional services being available in the community to reach the families before they rise to the level of crisis, she said. So we do need to take a look at our system as a whole and impact change. But that also does include the DCYF system. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the story of the DCYF situations. Actually, it was more than one. You can check out more of that on WMUR.com. That was covered by Tim Callery. This is your host, Joey Nebb, from live in New Hampshire here, ladies and gentlemen. I have to agree that the system does need a change, and all politicians, all hands on deck from every state to state need to come together, need to figure out a better, safer system for the children here in America. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to the next topic, ladies and gentlemen. And we have Dr. Fauci paid Chinese virologist to create a bioweapon virus, said Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson, a political columnist, shared an explosive tweet regarding the coronavirus pandemic. The godfather of the conservative internet, as he is known among his fans, and the chief creative officer of Turning Point, claims that the Chinese virologist created the pandemic. The person behind it was Dr. Fauci. I've been saying this again and again and multiple times, ladies and gentlemen, that Dr. Fauci resigned before it was too late. And also that I had a feeling he knew too much how to protect against the virus. So obviously he was funding the virus. So here we go. Let's get more into the detail from this. Came straight from the MSN.com news. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have Benny Johnson's viral tweet. Johnson claims Dr. Fauci paid Chinese virologists to create a bioweapon virus. In the same tweet, he said, "We have the receipts," adding that this was not for the debate. The conservative podcast host further wrote, then Fauci promised a surprise pandemic during the Trump administration, a day before Donald Trump was sworn in as then president. And here is Benny Johnson with a video. Dr. Fauci paid Chinese virologists to create a bioweapon virus. This is not up for debate. We have the receipts. Then Fauci promised a surprise pandemic during the Trump administration, a day before Donald Trump was sworn in president. Largest crime in human history. Here's that video, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. Is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
거세차게 내뻗치며 조선민주주의인민공화국의 불가항력을 만창약한 이 모든 정수들이 설계상 여구에 정확히 도달됐으며 신용 대륙간 탄도 가 거세차게 내뻗치며 조선민주주의인민공화국의 불가항력을 만창약한 이 모든 정수들이 설계상 여구에 정확히 도달됐으며 신용 대륙간 탄도